Hello and welcome to the latest in our InsurTech 100 Spotlight series. This week is one I have been particularly looking forward to. We are welcomed by a very special guest, Rob Schimek, the CEO of Bolttech. Rob, hello.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Jumping straight in, Rob, for those, I can't believe there are any, but for those who aren't already familiar with Bolttech, can you just do a quick introduction of the business?
Super. Well, thanks. I would just want everyone to know that Bolttech's a leading high-growth international insurtech, and international in a really big way, in a unique way. You'll find Bolttech with licenses to operate in all 50 states in the United States, but also 35 international jurisdictions. So you'll find us in North America, in Europe, and in Asia. So when we say international, we really mean international. Our mission is to build the world's leading technology-enabled ecosystem. And what we try to do here is connect insurers, distribution partners, and customers. And our goal is just to make it easier for people to buy and sell insurance. We run what we refer to as an insurance exchange, and we are by far the largest technology-enabled insurance exchange in the world. Just to keep this in context, last year, we quoted $44 billion of premiums through our insurance exchange. And we also distribute some of our own products on our insurance exchange. We are providers of protection and insurance products in several markets in Asia and in Europe. And so I think I'd wrap all of that up by saying we're truly international business with scale. And that pretty much makes us, I think, an outlier in the insurtech space. Very difficult to achieve true scale in this business. And I'd say 44 billion of insurance quotes last year is a level of scale that we're pretty proud of.
Incredible. So I don't want to get too sycophantic here, but all of this is off the back of founding a business or launching a business in 2020, right? So it's very easy to talk about this international scale, the numbers that you're rolling out. It's got to be the question of how have you managed to achieve that in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so the very first thing is that the Bolt business, which is really the namesake for Bolttech, is a Israeli technology that was developed over the course of years. And we acquired, it was the beginning of Bolttech. We acquired that business in late 2018. It was still, as we are, still very much a baby. I'm going to put this in context for you. Today, quoting $44 billion of premium on the exchange, but and actually closing, having premiums where transactions have closed with customers of about $5 billion on the exchange. And back in 2018, it was maybe about $1.5 billion. So we've been able to really just take something that was a great technology, a great idea, and start to show that that can be scaled in a very significant way. It was also only in the United States in 2018. So all of that international expansion has come across the last couple of years, which is pretty remarkable if you think about the fact that COVID sat in the middle of that same time period.
I think honestly, for us, it was almost the surprise when pulling together the InsurTech 100. It's just, I think maybe I'd come across you guys a few times and then started to slowly track you, but it's just the sheer volume of business you guys were doing in such an incredible short period of time that landed you. Then suddenly you're one of the top 100 companies, and I can only wait for September when we're publishing the report again, just to see where you guys sit within that, because it's truly phenomenal. And to celebrate this month, I believe, marks your 2-year anniversary, right?
Yes, we're so excited. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. A key milestone. We became a unicorn just a year after we were born in 2020, officially with our brand. And here this month we become 2 years old. So we're thrilled with that. And not just becoming 2 years old, but the fact that we were able to, in 1 year, hit unicorn status, where we also launched
How much? What does that mean for you guys in the team? Because it's a term, you've mentioned it. I will band it around often, and the media love a good old narrative around the number of unicorns out there, or giving birth to unicorns, or all these different kind of phrases that take place. And what does becoming a unicorn mean for you and the team? I mean, it's got to be a landmark, right? An accomplishment, a celebration.
Well, it really is. One of the things that I think everyone knows is that when you begin a company, you don't really set out to say, I want to be the biggest company. You say, I want to build something great, and I want to solve a problem that I think maybe the market hasn't been successful in solving. But if you want to do that, you want to do it on a big stage, and you want it to be recognized by others. And the fact that we've been able to bring it to unicorn status says that not only did we find an interesting part of the marketplace, not only did we find a terrific solution to a problem that has existed in the marketplace, but we've been able to do it at scale. And the investment community recognized it by putting their capital behind this company at a really attractive valuation, a $1 billion valuation, which made us a unicorn. And the statistics, the percentage of companies that ever achieve unicorn status is very low, single digit.
They're called unicorns for a reason, right?
Correct, yeah. Exactly. And I think if you want to be a unicorn among unicorns, see if you can do that in a year. And so I think our team does wear that as a sense of pride. That they also have, we use a phrase a little bit in the company, and the phrase that we say is pressure is a privilege. And a lot of people say, gosh, the pressure, it's torturing me, it's killing me. But one of the things I love about the Bolttech team is they recognize that if you want to ever play on the big stage, if you want to be in the big game, then you're going to be put into pressure situations. Imagine playing sports. And if you were in a sporting arena and you're trying to make the winning shot for the game, there's pressure. But you got to know that if you're the one trying to make the winning shot when the game is on the line in a game that anyone cares about, that's pressure, but pressure is a privilege. And so I think our team kind of looks at this unicorn status as very few companies ever make it, even fewer ever make it in the period of time we are. And the degree of difficulty, the pressure that comes on getting onto that big stage, it's really a big pressure. And for us, we welcome it and we feel fortunate.
I love all that, Rob. There's so much sport analogy to bring into growing companies and entrepreneurship as well, but maybe we'll leave that for another time. Tell me, apart from the unicorn status, other sort of key accomplishments for you. I bet there's some landmarks that you must have journeyed through, which you look back on and feel pretty satisfied by.
We did. The number one item, without a doubt, is the fact that we achieved unicorn status with a Series A funding round. That was the largest Series A in the history of the world for a insurtech. And I always say to the team, whenever you do something for the first time in the world, as long as it's good, that must be an amazing accomplishment, right? I don't really want to be known as having done something bad for the first time in the world, but to do something like raise the largest Series A in the history of the world. And we did that, by the way, without the use of investment bankers. That was because the investment community recognized, without a lot of pushing and a lot of help from the outside, they recognized what was being created, and it created a lot of demand for participation in the Bolttech Series A. So we were absolutely thrilled with that. I think, having achieved unicorn status in such a short period of time, having done the largest Series A in the history of the world for an insurtech was a really big accomplishment. And again, continuing to be the market leader with $44 billion of quotes of premium on that platform, expanding into our 30 plus countries. We don't expand into countries, Matt, because we want to conquer the world. We don't take great pride in just planting flags. we take great pride in the fact that we have had a great run with great partners who have asked us, could you do the same thing for us in another country? Because we love what you just did in this country with us. And what a great feeling, maybe better than anything else I could possibly describe, is when you have business partners and your business partners say, I love what you're doing. Can you come do it for me in a bigger way in another location? And I think that's maybe the thing that really brings the most pride to the team.
Great. Now, with all entrepreneurs and founders and leaders of companies, the highs are possibly higher than you're going to get elsewhere, but also the lows are possibly lower than you're going to get elsewhere as well, right? And it's a rough ride at the top often. Tell me, they don't need to be lows, but tell me, what are the learnings? What are the key learnings? Because it can't have all been smooth sailing. It's interesting you're saying about sort of tapping on the VC door and them getting Bolttech straight off, and that's often a tough market to win over. But what are the key learnings for you over the last couple of years as you look back with a little reflection?
Yeah, so I think probably three things come to my mind. The first one is that it is a real challenge to prioritize, but it's really important to prioritize. So there is no doubt that at times I have a ambition that's greater than it's humanly possible that the team could ever execute. And so, I have to admit that, this responsibility of being relentless on prioritization it's a never-ending challenge, and it's really true when you're in a young baby company like we are. So to me, that's one. The second one is not every partnership works the way that you dream. I guess it's like, you've gone on a date, you have great aspirations for the relationship that can blossom. But I would honestly say that we've ended up sometimes with a partner where we've said, gosh, that was not the perfect partnership. Just like we've had some where they've been better than we could have ever dreamed. And so I think it does say that that it really takes great chemistry, and it really takes two organizations with the same mission, with the same desire to achieve something great. Because imagine dancing on the dance floor and one partner's dancing fast and the other one's slow dancing. It looks really weird. It's a strange couple on the dance floor. You can't have that.
You're pretty much describing my wedding dance here, Rob, just to be clear.
I have to admit, you wouldn't want to really see me dancing on the dance floor, but it just talks about the need to be on the same page with your partner and for that to work. So to me, I think at times we've not gotten that perfect. The good news is I think this team is really great at that story that you hear about sometimes, but people do a horrible job of executing, which is fail fast. Just learn fast and don't be afraid to fail fast, and then keep moving. And I think one of the reasons that Bolttech's had so much success is, well, we've had some failures. When we have a failure, we fail fast and we move fast, and we don't treat all of those as though that was a bad thing. We treat that as a learning. And I'd just say the third disappointment for me, the third challenging element of being in this business is that it is a relentless war for talent. And so, if you ask me, have you ever in the history of Bolttech lost someone who you didn't want to lose? The answer is, of course we have. And the truth of the matter is that there are many great companies out there, and there are many great attractions. And one of the things that every company has to be careful about is to make sure that they're making their company the place of choice for the human beings that they want on their team. And if you fail to do that, then you're going to learn the lesson the hard way, because you'll keep losing the best talent on your team. So I think we've done a great job of retaining and attracting, but I'm always take it personally when we lose someone I didn't want to lose.
Sure. I hear you. I don't think we're too dissimilar as characters in that sense. You talked about your ambition, and my words, not yours, but possibly kind of unrealistic ambition at kind of a personal level, because it's simply not possible to achieve the goal that you may envisage or believe in at such an early stage of company. Tell me about your plans. Tell me about what we can expect from Bolttech over the next 5 years, because I hope they're as great as what we've seen over the last 2 years. I'm sure they will be.
Yeah, I will say this, that it begins first with, what is our mission? And, we have a mission to build the world's leading technology-enabled ecosystem, connecting insurance distribution partners and customers. And so when I say world's leading, right off the bat, that's a pretty ambitious agenda, because it's not leading in a country. It's not leading in a particular product. It's just the world's leading. So I would say you can temper your view and maybe consider me to be at times overly ambitious when I tell you we want to be the best in the world, but we should set our sights that high. I think that what I really would like for everyone to think about with Bolttech is we'd like to be viewed as the company that became the rails that this insurance distribution future was run on. Think of it like the train tracks. You can build any railroad car you want on the train tracks. You can put any kind of engine on there, but we want to be those tracks. And you can put your infrastructure on there. You can build it as high as you want. You can build it as wide as you want. You can make it look any way you want it to look. But we really believe we can create the infrastructure that all of this runs on. And that would be our dream, to make the Bolttech exchange, the exchange where everyone in the world can say, we know that name, we recognize that that is the leading platform for the place where insurance transactions are conducted between a willing buyer and a willing seller. So that would be our dream, and not just to have it in one geography, but to have that everywhere in the world, particularly in the markets that we're in today, in North America, Europe, and Asia.
And that dream, to realize that dream, you have to have a market that complies in alignment or in positioning with what you're building, right? And so tell me a little bit more about kind of what your view is around, I don't know if we loosely call it, let's say the embedded space, the B2B2C, whatever, and however we want to describe it. How do you see the landscape changing around your business in the more broad context?
Yeah. So let me start with a philosophical view, and that is that we don't consider ourselves as everyone's competitor. Instead, we really want to consider ourselves, we want to be considered by the world as the enabler for this marketplace. We want to help established insurers be able to fend off that new breed of insurtechs who can move faster and more nimbly than they can. We want to help the insurtechs to be able to compete against the bigger, well-established traditional players. And we want to help players who are not in the insurance business at all recognize that a great way to meet the needs of your customer is to provide protection at the time that you're providing your wonderful product to the customer in the context of this point of sale insurance transaction or this embedded insurance transaction. And so we really believe that by characterizing ourselves as an enabler and working with very established players in the industry and not being outsiders to the industry. I think that one of the worst things you can do in the kind of insurtech list of mistakes is you can say, I'm here to disrupt everybody because no one knows what they're doing and I have all the answers. And I would be really clear. I've worked for some of the big players. I came out of AIG, love that company, recognize that they recognize what needs to be done. They might have limitations to their ability to move and move fast, but they're trying to do the right thing. And with some help, we can enable that to happen for any large established player. And it doesn't matter who they are. At the same point in time, there are some awesome ideas that are coming up with some amazing fintechs, insurtechs, just innovative players in the world who just need the right platform, the right way to get their product into the mainstream and to get their product into the distribution opportunities that will take to make them flourish. And we can help to make that happen too. So this philosophy of being an enabler is, to me, point number one. And if you're the kings and queens of enablement, you can help established players or the new players, and it doesn't matter, and everyone should appreciate you. The idea of embedded insurance is very near and dear to our heart, Matt. We are big partners with some of the largest telcos in the world, and with manufacturers like Samsung. We are Samsung's partner in 13 countries around the world, and we're very proud of that. We want to make sure that we respect that Samsung customer, that we help Samsung to build greater loyalty to their brand with their customer, and so we have to treat that relationship like it's gold. But we believe that that should be potentially the start of the relationship. Protecting that handheld cell phone that everyone holds in their hand for hours a day is a great starting point. But if you're going to protect that, why don't we protect all of your home electronics that are connected to the internet? Why would you limit it to the cell phone? Why shouldn't it be the iPad? Why shouldn't it be your laptop? Why shouldn't it be your smart TV? And if we're going to protect those things, why not protect your home? And if we're going to protect your home, we should protect your auto and your home, and everything like that. And to us, this concept of knowing when to offer those products at the right time, in the right way, because it is really random if suddenly you get a text and someone says, "Hey, Matt, I want to insure your life." You say, "Oh, that's interesting." Why do you think I'm going to die today? Why did you decide that today you wanted to send me a message wanting to protect my life? And who are you? And why do I want to protect with you? So all of these things are relevant. We have to solve for that and understand that. But the great thing about what we're doing at Bolttech is we're focused on a full end-to-end journey that's focused also on offering the right offering at the right time. So it's really relevant to the customer at the point that they're needing this capability, and helping the customer be able to grow through a life cycle. Anything from protecting your cell phone all the way to protecting your life, but in a very logical, very time sensitive, very curated way. And that's the journey that we're on. I think it's unlimited in terms of what the potential is. But Matt, if you're going to attack this in a disorganized way, like I'm going to send you an SMS on any topic, I can tell you that the world is really tired of the junk texts and the junk emails, and they'll ignore it. So you've got to get that puzzle piece right. And I think that's going to be the fun, that's going to be the journey, that's going to be the complexity, that will be what separates the winners from the losers in this game in the future.
Rob, I love it. It's been a long time since I've had a chat that I found as fascinating as this one. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary to Bolttech.
Thank you.
Happy 2 years. And genuinely, I can't wait to meet up in person one of these days, which it can't be long, right? These events are happening seemingly all around the world. So I'm sure our paths will cross sometime soon. But for today, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Really nice to get some time with you.